All right, so check this out. Donald Trump had another late night meltdown last night. You probably hear me say that all the time, but unfortunately, it happens all the time. He was just typing, letting anything fly. Late at night, he's most reckless, and he just posts whatever comes to his mind. Last night was no different. Let me set the stage for you here. Donald Trump is very upset over the new reporting from CNN, from the New York Times, from other outlets that his Iran strikes were just not that effective. They didn't really take out the key components of their nuclear program. It only set the program back around 2 months. And Donald Trump is really upset that his own Pentagon is contradicting his claims. And for some even further context, Trump is also at the NATO summit in the Netherlands right now at The Hague. And so if he's posting at 9 p.m. East Coast time, that's actually 3 a.m. their time. They're 6 hours ahead. So we're going to look at some of these Trump posts. But before we do that, I want to show you just a little bit of the reporting we're getting from CNN and others that Donald Trump is furious about. He actually calls out CNN by name in one of the posts we're going to look at in just a second. Have a look here.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We have major breaking news into CNN. 3 sources tell CNN that according to an early U.S. intelligence assessment, the U.S. military strikes on 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities last weekend did not destroy the core components of the country's nuclear program and likely only set it back a few months.
That's right. So this is an assessment that actually is out from the Defense Intelligence Agency. That is the Pentagon's intelligence arm. And it was based on a battle damage assessment conducted by U.S. CENTCOM after the strikes, according to one of the sources. Let's go to CNN now.
So that's the new reporting from CNN, and that is scathing for Donald Trump because, as I said, he called it catastrophic. He said that it was obliterated, that their program is not coming back, and the New York Times also confirmed the reporting as well, saying a preliminary classified U.S. report says the bombing of these sites in Iran only set it back by only a few months. The strikes sealed off the entrances of 2 of the facilities, but did not collapse their underground buildings. That's according, again, to U.S. intelligence. They said that if Iran tried to rush to make a bomb, it would take about 3 months. The report also said that much of Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium was moved before the strikes. Some Israeli officials also said they believed the Iranian government had maintained small covert enrichment facilities so it could continue its nuclear program in the event of an attack on the larger facilities. And they were able to do this because Donald Trump didn't really mask his plans all that well. Like, he was pretty kind of making it abundantly clear that he was going to strike Iran, and they were just like, okay, let's move our stuff, so it doesn't get damaged. And that led to Donald Trump going on his rampage, this reporting. And let's start here, which again, 9:46 p.m. East Coast time. So he was posting this at 3:46 in the morning, Netherlands time, The Hague time. And he called out CNN by name. He said, quote, "Fake news CNN, together with the failing New York Times, in both the reports we just saw, have teamed up in an attempt to demean one of the most successful military strikes in history. The nuclear sites in Iran are completely destroyed. Both the Times and the CNN are getting slammed by the public." According to Donald Trump. So once again, the president of the United States is at a NATO meeting representing the United States abroad. And instead of being, asleep at 3:46 in the morning, he's posting on social media nonstop, attacking American media for doing their jobs. Like, the intelligence assessment that CNN and the New York Times referred to was actually confirmed to be real by the Trump administration. The Trump administration is saying, we disagree with the findings, but they're not disagreeing that it exists and that it actually found that the strikes were just not that successful. So he's at the NATO summit attacking CNN and the New York Times just relentlessly. And it's just embarrassing, not only for the facts we just mentioned, but also the president of the United States is too much of a child to admit when he's wrong, right? He can't just say, you know what, I got it wrong. The initial assessment that I thought was done was far more catastrophic. We should listen to U.S. intel. Instead, he's discrediting this, CNN and the New York Times, and is in turn discrediting his own Pentagon, who came to this conclusion. It's just insane that this is what this guy is doing in the middle of the night. And he continued posting even earlier, again, 6 hours ahead. So this was 2:31 in the morning, Netherlands time. And he was posting different headlines from news outlets, just trying to, keep this narrative alive that everything was taken out, it was obliterated. He posted this headline from the Detroit Free Press, and it's citing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs saying obliterated. And that's the big headline. Michigan lawmakers react to U.S. airstrikes. It's a Michigan-based paper, obviously. And he's reporting this to try to keep the narrative going that, he destroyed everything. And it continued. He even posted a clip from one of the members of his administration, Steve Witkoff, repeating the lies. It's just so frustrating how they're getting on live TV on Fox News, which of course is going to let it fly. And he posted this clip of Steve Witkoff, a member of his administration, and let's just take a look what he had to say.
That leaking that type of information, whatever the information, whatever side it comes out on, is outrageous. It's treasonous. So it ought to be investigated, and whoever did it, whoever's responsible for it, should be held accountable. It could hurt lives in the future. Leaking is a completely unacceptable thing. But let me give you, because I've read all the damage assessment reports from not just our government, but from other governments. And I'm not going to get into anything that's top secret, but let me tell you for sure what happened here. There are three distinct facilities in Iran that we were concerned with. Isfahan, which is a conversion facility. You cannot weaponize unless you have what's called the conversion.
Let's move it along.
That conversion facility, which as far as we know is the only facility in Iran that can do this, was completely destroyed at Isfahan. It's above ground. It was hit with a 30,000-pound bunker buster, and it could not survive that hit. So they have no conversion opportunity, and that means they cannot weaponize, even if they've enriched to 90%. Then there are two other nuclear reactors in Natanz, one above ground and one below ground. The below ground one we know we eviscerated, and the above ground one, which had been hit by the Israelis.
So you're kind of getting the idea. I just honestly, transparently don't want to hear him speak anymore. He also said, we put 12 bunker buster bombs on Fort O. There's no doubt that it breached the canopy, and there's no doubt that it was obliterated. So the reporting out there in some ways suggests that we did not achieve the objective is just completely preposterous. He describes it as. So Steve Witkoff, another member of the Trump administration, is doubling down on the lie. Also the reporting we just read from the New York Times, for example, was specifically talking about the two bases under the ground, which were far more difficult to hit than the one on ground, obviously. But the report was specifically referencing those, saying that it was not obliterated, as Donald Trump and now Steve Witkoff is saying. They just keep doubling down on this lie. And Donald Trump then later posted this quote from Pete Hegseth that says, based on everything we've seen, and I've seen it all, our bombing campaign obliterated Iran's ability to create nuclear weapons. Our massive bombs hit exactly the right spot at each target and worked perfectly. The impact of these bombs is buried under a mountain of rubble in Iran, so anyone who says the bombs were not devastating is trying to undermine the president. And he's posting this quote from Pete Hegseth. And then the final thing I want to show you is, for some reason, Donald Trump thought it was a good idea to post a clip of B-2 bombers, American B-2 bombers, and I can't unfortunately play the audio for you. I don't know why it's not going big. You can get the idea here. I can't play the audio for you because there's music in the background that's copyrighted, and the song is "Bomb Iran." I believe it's a Beach Boys song from the 80s, the 70s, and he's saying let's bomb Iran again, I guess, in this video of all these B-2 bombers. So you're kind of getting an idea that Donald Trump, starting with posts much earlier, ending up at this one, is very upset that the media and his own Pentagon, his own guys, are contradicting him. His own intelligence is saying, not obliterated, not completely destroyed, not a catastrophic hit. And so he's going on these late night rampages when he's the president of the United States and should be focused on the NATO summit, incredibly important, especially in the times we're in right now. But no. That's too much to expect. He's on social media. So anyway, that was Donald Trump's late night rant. Just absurd as always. But I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Also drop a like on the video and comment. Let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.